First thing I did was make it a little easier to see. You can't fly it if you can't see it. So I put these lightweight little ping pong balls on the side and painted them just like a real helicopter would be. Left is always red and right is always green. And I also put one on the rear by the tail rotor. One side is green and the other side is red. It's all in hand and eye coordination, so if you can't see it, you can't fly it. Believe me, model helicopters at a distance are not easy to see. I have the helicopter mounted right now just on a small vise here so that you can run the motor up and test it, and it isn't going to fly away and kill you. So that's what that is. Okay, here's one of the modifications I did make. I was not getting enough tail rotor authority. And when you only have an electric tail rotor, you could understand why. Because the only reason it doesn't turn around and go backwards, it's always going or it stops. It doesn't have reverse pitch like a belt drive. So you don't have as much torque on one side as you do the other with the blades. And depends on how much blade pitch there is, depends on how much torque is on the body. So the tail rotor gets worked all the time. This little tiny motor that runs this tail rotor gets really, really hot in only a couple minutes. And then it starts to lose its efficiency. Now what I did was I took heavy-duty solder and wrapped it around the motor a few times. I could actually put more on there just to give it some cooling effect. So that's the first thing I would do. If you're going to do a lot of hovering, that little tail rotor motor really gets worked out. In forward flight, not bad at all because it's hardly even moving. Okay, another thing I did was remove this fin from the tail. And the reason I did that is because you could see there's the blade. And when you put that in front of it, you're effectively blocking that blade. Since the air has to blow and be through there, it's much more authoritative with the tail. However, in forward flight, if you were to not have some kind of piece of drag back here, because this ping pong ball is drag, it would be a little harder to keep the tail straight. But you just need something back here with drag, and that little ball is plenty. A lot of people are asking me how exactly is the Honeybee supposed to be set up. So I'm going to try to show you here. First of all, this is the swash plate. When it is flat and level in all directions, that is where it's supposed to be hovering. And that also means that this fly bar paddle right here has to be flat and level also, and the same on the other side. Flat and level. Everything has to be flat and level. So when you push forward on the stick, elevator stick, that makes the swash plate flip forward, which makes these blades right here tilt forward. And when they tilt forward, the whole helicopter tilts forward and begins forward flight. That always has to be perfectly level. And it also works the same for left and right. If I go left, you'll see nothing really is happening to the blades on the top because it mixes. This has to come around this way. Same thing. Left, these have to be perfectly parallel to the ground. These are called fly bar paddles, and that is the fly bar. Since helicopters are so small and the air is still full size, that's like giving a little extra power steering. So left and right makes the paddle now go left and right. This causes the helicopter to go left or right. So the whole thing is being balanced in the center of the shaft, and that means that everything in all directions, when the helicopter is trimmed properly, has to be totally flat, perpendicular with the ground. So proportionately, here's the throttle. That's what your tail rotor should be doing. And again, look at the rotor blades, and you'll see the pitch increase as I go up on the throttle. Now if I throw that throttle hold switch on, the pitch is going to change. Watch. Now the throttle hold is on, which means at 0 degrees here, throttle halfway, you should have no pitch on the helicopter. So when you go inverted, which is low throttle, you see reverse pitch there, and you go into full forward, upside right. So there the whole pitch changes completely. Half throttle right there in the middle. When your throttle hold is on, that's the switch on top here. I'm going to put it back to throttle again, and we go back down. Now in the normal mode, this is like the hovering mode. Pitch only increases. Okay, show you how I adjust this pitch. Run the throttle up just about a quarter, and then you will want to take a small screwdriver and get in here and adjust the tail rotor so it's about that speed. I'm just going to turn it to show you that what it does. That's off, and this increases it. So this is how you would want to set up your trims. If it's too much right trim or too much left trim, you want to get it set up so that about quarter throttle, that's the speed you've got. Then it's proportionate when you go up and down. Okay, the other screw to the right is the gain, and now I've got this turned up all the way to the top and then turn it back about 1/4 of a turn, and that seems to be the best part for the gain on the Honeybee. Okay? So the left screw here is your centering, and that's where I've got it set on mine. Right there is a little slight angle, so it's almost off and then back up. Very little bit turned on the left side. The gain I've got almost all the way up and then back 1/4 of a turn, and that is centering screw here and the gain screw here. And it's all set up, and I've got the motor plugged back in the main motor. Let's spin it up and see how it looks here. Forward, aft, on the stick, forward, aft. This is what makes it go backwards and forwards. Now, left and right. There's left towards me, away from me, left, right. Okay, everything looks like it's spinning pretty good here. There's your idea, and while you're hovering, you have to control the tail rotor with the left stick and the throttle at the same time. So let's see how it hovers. Well, a little out of trim in here, but we're getting it. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, folks. Try to get your helicopter set up. Understand exactly what's going on when you push forward and backward like this, so you can see those blades going back and forth. Left and right, same thing. And your tail rotor. When everything is set up nice, you'll have a much better chance of success in flying the helicopters. And I hope you enjoyed the video today. So good luck with it. Remember, if the helicopter's messed up and you're a novice, you won't know who's messed up, you or the helicopter. So it also helps to have somebody who knows how to fly give it a check out. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.